Testing, testing. Okay. So welcome to the stream, everybody. I'm Joe. Thanks for joining me. Tonight is Monday. It should be Merfolk night, but honestly, I just haven't been so motivated to play Merfolk lately. There's not a lot of new stuff going on. We didn't get a lot of new stuff in the new Zendikar set. It's just, Glasspool Mimic, which is a pretty cool card, but, we've had access to clones in the past, particularly with Phantasmal Image, and I don't know. It's a tap land, it's a Phantasmal Image, nothing to get super excited about. It's not a new interactive creature, it's not a new bomb. So, I don't know. Merfolk, obviously still my first love in Magic, and it's super important to me. I think the deck is really strong, can win matches, can win events, but I just really like that Soulherder is kind of experimental, kind of open-ended. Merfolk's got a few different lists that you can run these days. You can run any kind of mono blue, and then of course Simic. There's a pretty successful blue-white that runs Luris, but really, Merfolk is Merfolk, and just getting sort of hosed by Wizards over the last few sets. They never give us any new toys. Just gets a little bit annoying after a while. So I am playing Soulherder this evening instead of Merfolk. Nice opening hand. We'll go ahead and keep. If you guys want to see the deck list, it's over in the side. Opponent's playing Luris. Hopefully that means it's a good matchup. I just sat down at the computer, so got to... Let's see, if we want to cast this, we should get white, blue, and then maybe we get a basic forest after that. So saying I just sat down, I'm a little slightly disoriented, but feeling good. Just need to get my head in the sort of Magic state of mind. Focused. Sharp. The second force there, maybe not the best. It's something that I can pitch to force, so that's something at least. Okay, opponent with the untapped Blood Crypt. Okay, just bolting me on my beginning of combat. Cool. I guess it's some kind of... Well, it's probably the Shadow Prowess deck. Okay, there's this guy. So, calling for, or just drawing, Skyclave, obviously going to be pretty good here if we can make that happen. Well, we've got plenty of calls. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe I just try to chump here, and then force if they try to cast a Lava Dart or something, and then on their end step just call for Skyclave and hopefully draw, hopefully draw an Ephemerate so we can start blinking it. So plan here is just to use the green and blue mana here. So I do want to draw more blue at some point. So getting another Hallowed Fountain seems okay, although I do want to get double green for Witness. So Anyhow, I'm going to play the Windswept Heath here, and I can always just get Icefang Coatl back later if I chump block with it now with Eternal Witness. Looks like for the time being we're hitting our land drops. We'll go ahead and force this. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have another one. It'd be pretty nasty if they had another one. And us without any Ephemerate. So maybe I just get a forest here just to turn on Death Touch, and maybe I don't want to block here since I've got Death Touch next turn. Yeah, seems okay. Are they going to play another Scourge now, and then maybe I just have to go get Deputy? Man, like playing 2-drop 6/6s is so dirty. So I can get Death Touch, I can kill one with Skyclave, and then I'll have Death Touch, so we don't necessarily need to get Deputy. So as I said, gonna get a basic forest with this one. And I'll just call for Skyclave, and that's basically gonna be the play next turn. Path actually is quite a good draw. So now I can path and play path, block, and play another Eladamri's Call. Don't have the triple white mana. Can also path and then get it back with Eternal Witness, but not enough mana to cast it again yet. Hey DV, welcome to the stream. Just trying to figure out what the best play is here. I mean, the opponent to kill me, they have to have like... Well, they can hit their life total a little bit to make this guy bigger. Something to kill Icefang. So I think I am going to cast the path, which means I'm just going to cast the call along with the path, and then get a creature. But next turn I'm probably just going to go Ewit path. So just pass the turn here, I guess. Not too much to think about. I was explaining earlier. I'm not super stoked on Merfolk right now, so I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. Like, if I'm super excited to play Soulherder all the time, there's no reason for me to play Merfolk right now. I was saying we haven't gotten a lot of new cards. We have Glasspool Mimic, but it's not very exciting. Opponent has already cast 2 bolts this game. Let's hope that they don't have a third. Okay, that's a combo. It buffs it like twice. All right, well, you know, this deck is pretty powerful. They always have these free spells in a pinch. Whether it's, I've seen Apostle's Blessing has blown me out, Mutagenic Growth blows me out. And, okay. Look how this guy becomes a 22/22 after the game. That's funny. Not sure how that works. All right, so starting off with a game 1 loss against a very aggressive deck, but one that should be a decent matchup for us. I do have 2 Uros in the deck at this point. They do run Thoughtseize, Inquisition, and such, so, right, so I'll bring in the Veil. I don't really like the Forces so much. Might just leave in, like, 1. This is not a deck, I don't think, that plays Blood Moon. I know that I've seen it out of blue-red and certainly out of mono-red. Aethergust is okay, but it only hits half of their creatures, so... Like, in that game, it was just black creatures, so I don't really think I want to go with Aethergust. Thassa is a little too slow. Watcher is definitely too slow. I think I can. I mean, we really want to be able to get to Stonehorn, so I guess I'll keep in the calls, and we also want to be able to get to Uro. I don't love Deputy in the sense, that it dies to Lightning Bolt. A little too easy for them to deal with Deputy. Also Fatal Push. Oh wait, did I take out? Yeah, I took out the Deputy there. Knight gains life, which is something, but they're attacking for such big chunks that it's really more about removal. Teferi's pretty good in the matchup. I think Soulherder dies to Lava Dart too easily. But if we don't, I think maybe Thassa is a necessary evil here. Like, we need to stabilize and then have some way to loop Stonehorn comfortably. Ephemerate is one way. That game we didn't have Ether Vial. Maybe I trim one snake. Maybe I just trim the force. Like, I don't know. I don't really feel like I want to pitch cards to a counterspell in this matchup. It did help me a little bit in that matchup when they went for Lava Dart, but I typically take out my forces against prowess decks. Their spells are basically, they're always getting prowess triggers and that kind of stuff, so forcing them doesn't necessarily even get like tons of value. This is a pretty good one. We don't have any white mana, which could be a problem. Opponent's starting with 7. So Uro is a good draw. Snakes are a good draw. Removal is a good draw, but really we want white mana. Well, Snake is pretty nice. Guess if we can keep drawing snakes, and again, white mana would be pretty good. Definitely not blocking in this spot. I think if I get Teferi down, I'm just going to minus to bounce bounce whatever creature, probably the Silscar Mage. Just to slow them down, even if they just end up like Lava Darting Teferi to finish him off, it gains tempo and draws a card, so that's good enough. Oh, so this is the triple creature opening. The Thoughtseize. Okay, so double creature plus Thoughtseize. It's pretty solid. So I'm going to play out the only creature that I can play out here. It's going to draw me another card. Hopefully get me closer to white mana. Worship. I feel like they probably have to take the Worship now, but I don't know. Kind of getting run over here in this first round. I have won my fair share of matches against this deck, but it's pretty hard. They always come out super aggressive. Maybe they have another Thoughtseize. Can't really afford to block yet. Man, this deck can be so frustrating sometimes with the lands. I don't really want to attack them here because it just makes Death Shadows bigger. Just draw a 4th land, play the Worship, and, hope that it's good enough for like a minute. Time to start playing their 3 Lightning Bolts. Lightning Bolt number 1. Teamer Battle Rage. All right, down to 4. Awesome. Can I draw a land to try to stabilize? Yes. Yes, we can. But, the opponent can easily just kill both of my creatures here. So, but I mean, my only option is playing Worship. And with Worship down, I'm not even going to block, so I think I just want to... Death Touch doesn't even really matter. So I'm going to get Canopy Vista here. Not going to cast Path. We're going to cast Worship. And then the opponent untaps with Lava Dart, and we just lose the game. Could they possibly only have one removal spell for just like one turn? So I can get another creature onto the battlefield? That would help significantly. If I get to untap, the opponent's thinking about something, so hopefully they don't just have 2 removal spells. Go ahead and cycle that Canyon. Unless they have a Lava Dart, then we're just dead. I believe the opponent has complete information because the Oracle revealed the path, and they've already seen these cards. So what do you guys think? Do they have the Lava Dart and they're just being silly? Or do they have 2 lands in their hand? Okay, Spell Bomb is gonna maybe draw them a card. All right, let's brighten up. Cheery Soulherder stream. We're gonna be upbeat, positive. It's a little late in the day, feeling a little tired, but let's do this. All right. We're going to live another turn. Yes. More white mana that's not a fetch land or shock land. Basic white, basically. All right, well, shock land, we're going to have to. So at this point, we just want to draw cards. Actually, you know what? I've got the call. I can always call and put another creature on the battlefield. So I think in this case, calling for Uro is probably the way to go, right? Even though I don't necessarily like strictly need the life gain, seems pretty good. And then I can actually play my land this turn. So let me actually call right now. Oh, well, you're right, because Uro doesn't stay on the battlefield. That's true. So that's a little bit too sketchy, I think, right now. But I can just call for Eternal Witness whenever, just to get another creature, and then I can just buy back call. But since I'm planning on doing that, yeah, I like that line. The other line is just get to Fairy down, bounce the Soulscar Mage, hopefully draw a creature, develop my board that way, but I think call is probably the safest thing. So I will go ahead and attack in the air. I mean, I guess I'll... I think I brought in Knight. Did I not bring in Knight? Could also get Skyclave. A Knight's in the sideboard. I mean, Eternal Witness is probably the best call. But getting something with 2 power seems okay. Okay, so they're hitting the Ice Fang Coatl. I think that has to resolve. But now I can... This is actually pretty sick. Hold on, I'm going to do this on my end step here. I can call for Eternal Witness and get back Ice Fang Coatl. And of course, they could have the Lava Dart for Oracle and then go to my face right now, but I mean, getting back call is fine, but I do want to keep creatures on the battlefield. Okay, they put Luris into hand. They do have a Spell Bomb, which is kind of obnoxious. Huh. Well, we really want to draw cards, so I'm going to play Teferi. Man, rough. So they're going to get the Nile Spellbomb back. And we do have a path up for Luris. And if push comes to shove, I mean, we have a path for Swift Spear if they somehow deal with all three of our creatures right now. I'm sorry, what are you saying about Coatl? I did attack with Coatl. Do you mean attack? Well, I could attack and then bounce my own Coatl. That actually would have been a good line. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Similarly, I could have bounced my own Eternal Witness. That probably all these lines would have made a lot more sense than bouncing their one drop. I don't think that's what you're saying, but I kind of wasted resources there by bouncing their Soulscar Mage. Yeah, so I'm just gonna path this thing right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna sort of wait to see what they have. I mean, I'm not taking any damage. Oh wait, are they hitting? Oh, that was silly. Okay, Teferi down. I'm still getting focused here. I probably should have pathed, but I'll just path Luris right now. All right, so they get a free draw with Nile Spellbomb. Excuse me. I just need like to not draw land for a second. I guess I can, they're going to crack this Spellbomb, but I've got two paths anyway, and I just want to use my mana here. Get rid of that Luris right now. Oh, well, they're at 5, so we're getting very close here. Oh. Huh. Oh, well, they're protecting him. And now they're at 3, so they're just dead. Because I have another path. Nice. Well, it's like one game by the skin of our teeth, so let's hope that game 3 goes okay. Somehow there's not really much of a discrepancy in the times, so definitely not worried about the clock. Do I want to change anything? They had an option of taking the worship earlier in the game, but that would have left me with the Eternal Witness, which could have gotten back the worship. I think the deck is set up pretty well here. Just need to hope to draw decently. Thanks, Paintball, for the good luck. We are 1-1 against Black-Red Shadow right now. Lost game 1 to gigantic Scourges. Won game 2 with Worship. And now hoping for a good hand in game. This is I think what qualifies as a good hand, and the opponent's mulliganing to 6. So we're going to play both of these Ether Vials on the first 2 turns. We've got 2 pieces of removal. We've got Ether Vial even through like a Thoughtseize. Oh man, I did not want the third Ether Vial. That's a ridiculous draw. Yeah. I'm just going to get green for now. I was thinking about trying to research creatures that that loot when they enter the battlefield rather than just straight up draw a card. Like maybe there's some 2-drop that like loots. And we could loot away some of these stupid extra Ether Vials. Oh man. All right. The opponent kept a 1-lander. We've got a little bit of breathing room. That's a good one. So now I think I'll play this tapped. Play the second Ether Vial. We untap, get blue, play Teferi. Just keep praying that the opponent misses their land drops. Also, if they play a Scourge at any point and we're at high life totals like this, Uro becomes like a removal spell, gaining life. Haha, okay, there he is. But I think Teferi is much better to get down here now. Put so much pressure on the opponent. Excuse me. Like, they made the hard decision there of playing the Soul Scar rather than cracking the Nile Spellbomb to get the extra draw. So now we're going to make it hard. Like, maybe they have to cast, like, a Lava Dart next turn. I am going to return this Soul Scar Mage. Gain even more time. Pass the turn. Okay, things sort of shaping up here. Opponent Lava Darts, as I said. Now I can save my my graveyard if I want to get rid of this Nile Spellbomb, but it seems like the opponent has to be getting pretty close to just cracking it. Nice, that's a good land to draw. So now, I'm saying I could like Skyclave their Spellbomb, then they crack it. They don't get to draw a card, and then I get to start generating value with Uro. Actually, they crack it, and in response, I vial in Eternal Witness and grab back to Teferi. I love that play. Opponent F6, they didn't even crack it. That's hilarious. I mean, we've got plenty of time. I don't see any reason not to play out this last Ether Vial. Okay, they get their 1/1. I'll get Teferi back, and maybe I bounce it. I don't know. At this point, Teferi bouncing like Ether Vial is pretty nice. I mean, Teferi bouncing Eternal Witness to play back with Ether Vial seems pretty good. Could also just get back the Skyclave. I've already got mana to escape Teferi, but not enough stuff in the graveyard. So, Teferi seems fine. I think I'm going to put 2 of these on 3. All right, fetch land's good because it gets us closer to escaping Uro. So let's go ahead and play Teferi out. I can go get a basic white here, I think. Um, I think I just return Eternal Witness, actually. And I guess this loses to Fairy, but it's just crazy value. No, I can put the Skyclave down and just eat the illusion. Seems decent, but then let's just pass the turn for now. Although putting Uro into play will let me will gain me life and let me play this land right now. So I think I'm fine with letting Teferi eat it here. When Teferi hits the graveyard, it'll actually sort of complete our resources for escaping. Opponent just not drawing any lands. Feels bad for them, but I'll take it, I guess. I think I'm just keeping... should I path this thing? Probably not, right? The whole thing is they're stuck on lands. I can call, though, for something. Auriok Champion would be a nice one. But I think just something for 3 mana seems good. Just Skyclave, leave it on the battlefield. Just save Teferi, basically. Opponent can bolt before blocks, but it's sort of fine. But now we have something on the battlefield that we can ephemerate. They could also have a Lava Dart. They do have the Lava Dart, but they're not going to sacrifice their only land to kill my Skyclave. Would be pretty random. All right, so now it's time to start. Wait. Oh, they're getting rid of my graveyard. Okay, that was actually a good draw for them, I guess. Or maybe they had it in hand already. So we lost an Uro, and we just called. We could have called for a second Uro, so potentially kind of hasty. But we've still got good resources here. It seems like it should be hard for the opponent to claw their way back, but we are, well, that was a good one. We don't have the fastest clock, basically. So if they try to remove this guy, I could always just ephemerate Violin, Eternal Witness on my upkeep to catch the rebound. I'm sort of fine with him just getting hit for 1, I think. We can wait and see, like... Yeah, all right. So Teferi takes 1 for the team there. I think Eternal Witness can, chill out for a little while still. Not really getting... Like, I could path and then Eternal Witness, get back path. It also seems fine. They're just going to play, like, Scourges, and I'm going to keep pathing them. I've got Ephemerate. So, increase my clock. Yeah, I think I can afford to just path this Swift Spear. Famous last words. All right, well, we are going to need to start drawing something other than lands. I guess Ephemerate in combination with Skyclave is also pretty amazing. But these Ether Vials are just getting rusty over here. So we're going to give them all the lands they could ever want, I think, at this point. I do have to be careful that they do have Lava Dart in the graveyard. So I think this is rough. Oh wait, never mind. I have Teferi, so it's all good. Teferi really holding it down for me here, because I do really, really want to Ephemerate Eternal Witness. It's so easy to be like aware of Teferi's effect and then just sort of temporarily forget that it's in play. Bolt Teferi, Lightning Dart, Lava Dart, I mean. Let's see what happens here. Kozilek's Return. Yeah. So Ephemerate doesn't really do too much here. I just have to hope that I draw another creature. Yeah, so we let that go. It's a good one. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So, don't know that there's any rush. Actually, I think I'll just cast this one, get back the other one, which can get back Skyclave, and that can all happen with, Ether Vials. Man, it's a quiet stream tonight. Maybe Monday night is like, I don't know. Everybody's busy. Okay, here's a Shadow. It's a 7/7. So, you know what? Hang on. I don't want to play into another Kozilek's Return. It's unnecessary. So I'm actually going to say no here. And then I'm going to Ephemerate the Eternal Witness and just get Skyclave. Opponent seems like they're also forgetting about Teferi. Or maybe they're just scooping here. Yeah, all right, cool, we got there. Yeah, Neil, you're here with me, so I appreciate it. So we got wrecked in game one and then came back with two nice wins. One on the back of Worship, always love to see that, and one on the back of the opponent keeping a mulligan to 6 with one land, which, you know, that's on them. You can go to 5, you know, but they chose to keep the one lander, and it really punished them. I think it took them like 7 or 8 draws to get to that second land. But we were drawing pretty hot there towards the end. So anyhow, yeah, I could do that for sure. No, I wasn't so much worried about instant speed as I was just worried about the spell in general. Like if I commit all of my creatures to the board, I also didn't really feel the need to tick Teferi down and have him just die to a lava dart or something. So I was happy enough to just keep one of my creatures, just keep it in hand. And then if again, not ticking Teferi down, just keep ticking him up for a little while. If they do Kozilek's Return away the Skyclave and this Eternal Witness, I can just vial in this Eternal Witness and get back the other one. So, all right. So that was a good first round. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. Actually, it might take like a minute or two. So I need to check something. Okay, I'm back. So, on to round two. Okay, that opponent had one trophy. Welcome back. Thank you. Trying to figure out what WB means. Warner Brothers. Opponent apparently got scared, backed out. Okay, winning the die roll. Against an unknown opponent, I don't really love this opening hand. If I knew that I was playing against like a shadow deck, I would keep it. But I'm going to mulligan here. Remember that mulligans are always pretty good with the Vial decks because we can mulligan to a hand with Vial, which is always very powerful. I mean, Witness on the play, obviously better than Witness on the draw. Can start cracking these fetches, get lands out of my deck, path any aggressive creatures that an opponent might play. And then we've got Ephemerate, but I don't know. I don't like the early game plan here, so I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this is better. This is better. And Stonehorn is just too expensive at the beginning of the game, although I can't even cast Skyclave right now. So obviously I'm getting green-white here. And then we have blue. I like having a third land if we're trying to build towards Stonehorn, but we don't even know if Stonehorn is relevant. So I'll keep, and I'll put Stonehorn on the bottom. We actually don't have a second, like a green or a white, but call is so flexible that, I mean, if it's like Dredge, then we like having Stonehorn in the hand. Then we can just call for like Soulherder. But I think we can always just call for Stonehorn if we need it. So I'll just say done. Opponent's mulliganing to 6 as well. Already a minute behind here because I was thinking so much about the mulligan decisions. I think the opponent had a much clearer mulligan on 7 because they mulligan immediately. Although I think they had all the time to think that I was thinking, so now they're thinking about their 6. Okay. Would love to dodge. Oh, A. So if this is Infect, I think it is. All right. So actually getting basics is good, but also getting white for this is amazing. So I'm going to get green-white. And we'll go ahead and get Canopy Vista, because if we could draw a Temple Garden later, we can just pay to life, no problem. And there's one of the best cards in the matchup. We just need to hope. We need to hope that we start drawing. Well, first of all, white land, I guess, for Apparition, but also just removal, because if they have Blighted Agent, that can just get through everything we're doing. All right, so we're not ramping yet. Huh. So is this actually like Heliod or something? What's going on here? It is Heliod. Yucky. All right, well, we can Skyclave him if we draw land, which is kind of sick. No land yet. So now we can play the island. Well, we might as well Oracle first, I guess. Let's just refresh our memories on what this guy does. Okay, gets to grow things, and it's a combo, I know. So we play Oracle. If we hit a green source, we can actually just cast another snake this turn. No green source. Man, we are gonna die to our lands here, even though we have really good cards. Like, this Apparition is amazing. If we can just cast it. I think we might just be dead, because I think this is like a Walking Ballista. Oh, Conclave. Oh, it's just another kind of Heliod, basically. All right. We're sort of in business. I really want another white mana to be able to ephemerate this right away. But against a combo deck, you're really just concerned with getting rid of their combo pieces. So let's start by getting rid of Heliod, and then next turn we can ephemerate and get rid of Conclave Mentor. All right, so they're going to get some pretty buff creatures, but we've got blocks if we need them. And also, of course, okay, so this is going to come in, it's going to kill a bunch of our creatures. Let me untap, and then on my end step or something, he'll go and try to kill the Skyclave, and I can ephemerate in response to the second one. Okay, all right. Oof. So I mean, we're have to sort of see how it goes, how he times it. Could also just not do anything and then untap and start putting counters on it. But I feel like he's sort of priced into trying to kill this to get back a 3/3. I could play the Soulherder here, but I feel like it just dies to the Walking Ballista. Now, I'm going to try to blink the Skyclave and actually kill the Walking Ballista after it has shot 2 of its shots, basically. But then it can shoot the 3rd one, be on the stack on top of my... So maybe I need it to kill Soulherder first, actually. If he goes after Skyclave, then goes after it... I let that resolve, goes after another one. Well, okay, that would be fine, because if he kills the Skyclave, he has to bottom out the Walking Ballista to do it. It's probably okay. So then I can Ephemerate and maybe Ice Fang on their turn. But we don't really want to let them untap. I kind of feel like I want him to commit to... it's so hard because they can just pump the Walking Ballista to 5 counters next turn. So if I put Soulherder down, I can then Ephemerate Skyclave. If he tries to go after... Okay, I think this is a clear play here. So we play the Soulherder, go after Skyclave. And then Ephemerate, I guess, right? Opponent's hitting Soulherder. Interesting. I kind of have to let this resolve for now. We just really need to get this Walking Ballista off the battlefield. It's going after my snakes. Super interesting. So now I think I let the first snake resolve and then Ephemerate the second snake. Actually, I think I kind of want to... Also, he's going to let this resolve now? Or what? Hell yeah, let's blink this guy. So we're getting rid of this. Actually, you know what? If I was going to Ephemerate, man, I should have hit this thing first. And then... Just going after the snake. I kind of want to keep my snake. I kind of want to draw cards. So I'm going to Ephemerate the snake. Yeah, these are all options. Okay, now we have more lands. They're attacking for a bit of damage, but we're starting to stabilize. If we draw a land, we can call and immediately get... Oh, Jesus, they're cracking this land like they've got something crazy to do right now. Spike Feeder. Just gains life, basically, right? All right, so I get to play... This is... They're not dealing any damage right now. Spike Feeder is just going to gain life. So this is 8 damage. Like, I can just take it for now. They're empty-handed. And gaining 2 life. All right. Seems good. Oh, they're putting counters. What? Oh my god. Jesus, that was scary. All right. I wasn't even prepared for all of the crazy stuff. Now, I forgot that it moves counters. Oh, that's some tricky stuff with hardened scales. I think we're going to lose this one. All right, so now I can go get I can go get Stonehorn and cast it, and then hopefully draw. Well, I know then next turn I can call for Thassa. Don't really. I have 2 and then 4, so I think I just get this tap now. I go green, blue, I guess. Yeah. This is going to be a hard one to win. I'm way behind on time already. This is infinite life now, right? So maybe I let the opponent play it out for a little while. Can't call for Thassa, it's true. I just need to like cast my snakes, basically. And hopefully draw something good. I mean, at the very least, I'm going to make the opponent win. They can gain as much life as they want, but they're not attacking this turn. We can draw Eternal Witness and get the Soulherder right out of the graveyard. I've got three more calls in the deck that can just go and get Thassa. This is such a dumb deck online. Like, why would anybody choose to play this on Magic Online? So we need to draw something good. Otherwise, we're just chumping a little bit. So go green, blue to start. It doesn't quite get us there. Let's go green, blue over here. And there's really not a lot more I can draw in this spot. This does have Death Touch, so it kind of makes their attacks a little bit harder, I guess. Can't crack that. I can play this, might as well. And I'm trying to save time, so I don't really care about Ether Vial here. I guess Path is the take here. Now let's pass the turn. Okay, Scavenging Ooze seems good. Turns off our Eternal Witnesses, at least for now. He's got 2 green mana up. Okay, we're gonna block here. We're gonna oh, I guess they get to move counters around, right? So let's block there, and here, and here, I guess. I mean, that Path would be handy now, I guess. Oh, he gets to redistribute counters to, but he has to pay 2 mana to do this or something, right? How did that get 6 counters on it? I totally don't get this. Oh, is it gaining life and putting, like, Heliod is putting counters on creatures? Is that what's happening? Yeah, so all my creatures are going to die. So I can't win this game, but I can win the next by like drawing Winds of Abandon, I guess. I have cast Winds of Abandon against this deck a few times, and Does a good job usually. Oh, this is so boring. Hate this deck. But I'm just gonna let him finish doing what he's doing. Because the clock is pretty relevant here. So opponent is removing a +1 counter and gaining life, and then he's putting counters on other stuff, but it's getting double counters. So removing a counter from this gains 2 life, and then it would put 2 counters on Spike Feeder. So he can make his creatures infinitely big at this point, is kind of what's happening. This is game 1. That's kind of how you expect game 1 to go against a combo deck, particularly a creature-based combo deck. Only have 3 paths in the main, so I'll bring in the second path, or the 4th path, and the Winds of Abandon. Skyclave's actually really gonna be really good against this deck. I didn't bring in I didn't cast any Ether Vials this game, so if we draw it in game 2, it should be great. Opponent hopefully not going to have any artifact hate. I can also get Worship. Opponent is getting close to equalizing on time. Not exactly sure why they're making these creatures so gigantic. Like, it seems better just to maintain a time advantage. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, the guy's playing the deck pretty fast, so kudos to the opponent. No, I mean, the fact that I'm lower on time means I should, like, there's extra cause to make them play it out, because I need to let them spend as much time to, like, narrow the clock as possible. In general, you always want to make an opponent play out combos that require 800 clicks. I'm not sure that they actually search their deck very much. They just have pretty redundant stuff. I don't think they play like Eladamri's Call or anything like that. Winds of Abandon. I guess Ether Gust kind of slows them down a tiny bit, and it's a decent thing to recur with Eternal Witness. Actually, Ceremonious is good against their Walking Ballistas, so I think I'll actually bring that in and take these forces out. And I don't know, Ether Gust, kind of whatever. Thassa is slow as molasses. Also, it's definitely a hard matchup. Not really sure what creatures, if any, I'm dying to search for, other than like Skyclaves to blow things up. Like, gaining life against this deck is not really that relevant, but potentially ramping is. So I'm gonna trim 1 Uro, trim 2 calls, and I think I'll run it like that. All right, so extremely low expectations for this this matchup. Gonna hopefully draw well, try to play relatively quickly. Opponents seem to have a really good hand that game. They just kind of curved out. This is a nice hand. Opponent's mulliganing to 6. We can call for the... Just going to get all my colors here. I don't think Death Touch even matters very much. Oh, did I bring Knight in? I don't think I didn't bring Knight in, because I didn't think they have any enchantments that we can blow up. I know Heliod is an enchantment, but it's indestructible. All right, so there's that blue mana. Sorry, the white mana. I think I'm just going to call for Skyclave and just blow up whatever they play. Got it, opponent. It's gonna get blue-green here. His opponent, I mean, it's not a very interactive deck, right? They play their cards and then they just F6. So it's just to explain why they have more time on the clock than I do. What color is this? White. No creatures in the graveyard for them to eat yet. I think we've got the Eternal Witness. I think Ephemerate is probably the best take here, since we've already got removal with Skyap. I'm going to tick up this, and then if they try to eat, like on my end step or something, I can always just Violin Eternal Witness and grab in response to the Scavenging Ooze. Opponent apparently just thinking if they should act now or later, and it looks like they're waiting till later. Should hopefully work out well for me. I think I attack with the Watcher. No blocks, and we just pass. Opponent didn't do anything. Interesting. I'd love to get that call back, but it's almost certainly just dead in the water with Scavenging Ooze here, unless the opponent taps out. They're actually starting to think about their plays. 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got mana to go Gavany here, but it seems that would be pretty loose. Ranger Captain. Okay. Walking Ballista, yeah. So now, like, Ceremonious Rejection off the top. They've got 2 green up, so... And they also seem to be F6'd, so let's see how this goes. Come on, be F6'd. Opponent, what are you doing? I still don't think I tick this up. I just say okay, and then I can call for another Sky app. Teferi's kind of cool. I like Teferi. But I do think I kind of need to call this turn. I play a second Ether Vial. Get in the air, I guess. Could also attack with this guy and just sort of bluff the bejesus out of this dude. But I'll just leave Watcher back. Two, three, four, five. If they play a land, they can get 3 counters on the Walking Ballista. Collected Company. Okay. Spike Feeder and Voice. Oh, they got the Voice. Oh, that's rough. I think I'll give them a counter, though. I mean, a token. It's just like whatever. I'm going to... So that we know that they have the... We know that they have the Walking Ballista in hand. But we've got Stonehorn. I can go, like, call... get Soulherder, Vile in this guy, but then they play. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Completely aware of that. Just going to get Soulherder. Kind of forgot that voice could be a possibility. So now, unfortunately, I do take this Ether Vial up to 4, I think. The other one will catch up eventually. Unless I'm planning on blinking. They have the green mana up, so blinking Ewit doesn't seem like the best. Ephemerate's pretty good. I still don't think I should deploy the Teferi yet. Could bounce something back to my hand, but that doesn't seem that great right here. So just go to the end step, blink the Watcher. Skyclave their whole board. I feel like people who say that don't understand that they get a token every single time. I guess they're not attacking, right? So Skyclave their board. So we ephemerate, kill the important things, right? And then they can't attack. So I think that's actually a pretty good plan. All right, I'm on board. So let's start by blinking Skyclave here. Just feel like I've heard that so much, like just Skyclave everything, but a lot of times it's not that amazing because it gives the opponent like gigantic creatures. So we're going to get rid of Spike Feeder first. And I can actually ephemerate in response to this, of course. Yeah, I think that's the plan here. And then the next most annoying thing is... I mean, I guess Voice. I mean, we don't really have anything in the graveyard yet that we really care about. So I think Voice is like the next most annoying. All right. They're going to try to kill a bunch of my stuff now, I guess. This gets 3 counters when it comes in. Is that right? So it's tricky because they're going to kill whatever I go for. So why don't I go for Watcher, I guess, here. We need to kill this walking ballista. And we can do that for sure with Skyclave, so that's not really a big deal. And we can also ephemerate in response. So I think I'll just bounce. They can kill Teferi, it's fine. I don't really care. I can also get stuff back from the graveyard with Witness since since they're tapped out. So Ephemerate will keep my guy on the board, which is nice. But I should let this resolve, and then they'll go for the second one, and then I'll do it, so that they don't go and like kill the snake. I don't know why I didn't attack with my snake this turn. A little bit lazy. Lot of triggers here. Okay. So, yeah, go after the Stonehorn, I guess, because they can't kill that thing at least. I'm gonna run out of time. Not drawing the best. I think this Walking Ballista is going to start pulling out ahead. Does an attack with Soulherder make sense here? No, not really. I just block like that and give up a bunch of useless stuff. So do I just make them go after the Skyclave by targeting it? It's pretty tough spot here, I think. They had the second Walking Ballista, obviously something I was hoping to dodge. So, I mean, I think I just go for the Skyclave here. Just need to draw like a path or something. Oh, so that's just going to start doubling up counters on Walking Ballista. So path one time, please, off the top. Ugh, I said no instead of yes. Thassa is a thing. I should just scoop this and move on. Oh, they got 3? Because they got hardened scales plus this guy? We're getting wrecked. Pretty sure I brought in Winds of Abandon, which would be pretty awesome if I could draw it right now. Kind of weird going after Teferi. Thassa can tap things down, but it doesn't really do very much here. Like, we have Call as an out. We have Eternal Witness to get a call as an out. And none of those happened. Maybe we'll get one more draw. Probably not. I'm going to actually blink this. This is wild. What if I draw into like a Skyclave apparition? Oh my god, this is awesome. Well, I mean, I still have to win another game in 5 minutes. But they've got Gavany and their creatures get gigantic. I think I'm probably just dead. Doing my best, though. So this is 4, 7, 10. Just got to block a bunch of stuff. All right, so let's see. If we block through the 3 biggest things, 3, 3, and 2, then they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're not just dead. So let's kill something important. And they're all going after me, right? Yeah, not after Teferi, right? So we're gonna block I guess the big one with that guy. Block this like that, and then do I die if I take 1, 2, 3, 4? It's 10. I'd love to leave Eternal Witness on the battlefield, but I don't know that I can get away with it. So 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, and I can draw Witness and rebuild. So like this, I take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, let's do it. Am I dead? Did I? Oh, it's the doubling on hardened scales, of course, and the doubling on the conclave guy. So, all right, I don't know. It's a very difficult matchup. I didn't draw any paths, I don't think. Drawing that call was timely, so I was able to get rid of their walking ballista. But the fact that the opponent, I missed enough turns in a row, drawing like this, that well, I mean these were just off the top, but some of my top decks weren't the best, and I really needed to deal with the ballista like a turn or two earlier, because they were finally able to deal with like Stonehorn, and they finally got to attack. So yeah, I mean that happens. So let's return to details. Really disgusting deck. Opponent's on 3 trophies. Give me a second. I kind of like the idea of adding the Heliod combo to like our Soulherder decks. Because if you just run a single Walking Ballista and a single Heliod, I mean, they're both kind of bad top decks at random times in the game, right? Like we're not a big mana deck, but I feel like a lot of games get into that space where the opponent has like 3-4 life, and sort of like Siege Rhino. Like if you can just call for Walking Ballista and then just tap out and just dome the opponent. But you can also just combo out of nowhere, sort of like with Kiki combo in our deck, but without needing to splash red. Just gonna fill up my water. Give me one more second. Hood Rat, why are you talking about Ponder? I must have missed something. Well, everybody has bad top decks sometimes. Ponder doesn't always help the situation. So both of my opponents have had trophies so far. We won one and we lost the other. Had like hyper aggro and creature combo. Jackie Chen, are you asking if Soulherder has a chance against any deck? I'm not sure I understand the question. You couldn't possibly be asking what I think you're asking. Does it have a chance against any deck? Do you mean like, can we beat any deck? I'm pretty sure this guy is a grinder. That's not true. That's not true. We're massively favored against, well, heavily favored against pretty much any mid-range deck, and we're pretty even against his aggro decks. I mean, I did beat black, like the new hotness in the format, black-red aggro in round 1. So I'm going to cast Coatl on the opponent's turn. If they are a counter spell deck, and they counter the Coatl, we can just play Witness and get Coatl back. Can also just Violin Coatl next turn, but whatever. Let's see how this goes. I like the force, whatever we're playing against here. Okay. Not a big deal with the Ether Vial. Opponent just gets to cycle that remand. So here I think I just want to get green. No, I think I want to get... I guess I do have to get like green or white here. So I guess I'll get white and then green-white with the Canopy Vista on this land. And it doesn't really matter which order I do it in if I'm going to get white here. If I get white, I'm going to cast Call. And if I'm going to cast Call, maybe I should just do it right now. But we don't really know what we're playing against yet. Except that they have remands. Probably some kind of combo deck. maybe some kind of Blood Moon deck. So actually getting basic planes here and just calling on my turn seems fine. I've already got the Eternal Witness in hand. Maybe Uro, just to help grind against whatever they're doing. But if it is a combo deck, I mean, maybe we just want to be able to blow up whatever they're bringing. Like if it's Blood Moon, can violin a Skyclave. And Uro is just lots of value, draws us into more cards. I guess Eternal Witness can always get back call, so it's not a big deal necessarily what I get right here. So, like next turn I can just violin or the Witness and get call back. See, I think I'll just get Uro for now. If this is Teferi, I'm going to pitch. Well, I'll probably violin the Ice Fang. Yeah. So let's violin the Ice Fang. See what we draw, and I might just pitch this Uro. We do have another Uro in the deck. I could also just pitch the Ice Fang, but if I draw a blue card, I could also just pitch that. So if I just pitch the Coatl here instead of violin it in, I untap with Uro, which seems decent. Otherwise, I'm untapping with Coatl, which is also fine. I don't know that the life gain is going to be that clutch here, so I'm going to violin the Coatl, see if I draw a blue card. We drew Skyclave, which can just blow Teferi up. So if he just wants to bounce my Coatl, that's sort of fine, and they might think that they're sort of ahead. They didn't do it. All right, well, I just get to just blow Teferi up. I'll actually just cast it. Although, if I vial it in, then I get to hold up mana, which seems good as well. So I will just vial it in now, I guess. Now, what do I want to do here? If I cast Uro, that seems pretty good because I can start escaping him soon, hopefully. Maybe draw another land. I could also just cast Eternal Witness, but this looks like it could be a Supreme Verdict deck, so I think I'll just pass the turn here. If they want to cast Jace, I'll just hard cast Force. Another Teferi, huh? So there's some blowout potential here if they Lightning Bolt the Sky App, but actually not really because I've got the Ice Fang Coatl in the air. And now I've got Ephemerate, so I don't know, whatever. I don't have the right colors to escape this turn. But I do have the right colors to cast this and get Force. Kind of feel like I should keep this guy around. It still gives in the 3/3. You know, I can just get it back with Eternal Witness. Why don't I just let this resolve? Ephemerate now. Get back the Skyclave. I know it can't kill the 3/3, but if they want to play Jace or if they want to play another Teferi. So we have a rebound coming right now. Can also just gain 3 off of Uro, maybe put a land into play. This might be a little loose since the opponent could just... What's happening here? So Lightning Helix on Eternal Witness. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to force that since I only have Uro in hand. So like green land would be nice here, or another blue land. Say no. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have another piece of removal. Are they getting their second white mana here? Let's see. Maybe Sacred Foundry? Do have Force up here. Opponent should know that I have Force, I think. Okay, they just got a Triome tapped. Okay. Okay. So I can call for an Eternal Witness and start rebuilding. They're also kind of a burn deck, so I have to be a little bit careful just hitting my life total so hard. I don't have double green here now, so maybe I go and get some green mana so I can get Uro. All right, so currently just have Ice Fang to pitch to Force if we need it. Opponent just scooped. And Jackie Chen, to speak more to your point about Soulherder being 40% against everything, I don't think it's... I think it's closer to 50% against control decks. We're pretty resilient, right? We draw a lot of cards. We don't particularly care about any of our individual creatures. We've got counter spells. We've got stuff like Veil of Summer in the sideboard, so good against mid-range, good against control. We have counter spells, so we're good against combo. I think I consider us a little bit weak to creature combo since We don't have too much spot removal. Skyclave definitely helped that a lot, but as you saw against the Spike Feeder deck, you know, it's unless we draw like 2 Path to Exiles and Eternal Witness, then it's typically pretty tricky. I kind of like Knight of Autumn against these control decks. They could bring Shark Typhoon and we can blow it up with Knight of Autumn. Knight of Autumn can also just enter the battlefield as a 4/3 and just beat them up. Love Skyclave to be able to kill Teferis and Jaces. Watcher's great in the matchup. Deputy can clean up tokens if they do have sharks. I love Uro, love Teferi. I wish I had more Teferis in this matchup. The paths, probably not so necessary. I guess we'll see what we're playing against, but I'm going to take all the paths out and just lean on my creatures to deal with any threats that they might have. Now, they could have like a Celestial Colonnade, but if that's the case, I've beaten a control deck on stream by just gaining life against Celestial Colonnade beatdown, so we do kind of have an answer to Celestial Colonnade in the deck. Not really sure like what the opponent's packing, so I don't think they have any red permanents that I care about. I think it's probably just, as I said, Shark Typhoon. It's possible that keeping like 1 path in or just one wind is reasonable. But we're up a game, so I'll just submit the deck like this. And it's not super weak. We just have to hope that things line up sort of okay and that they don't get a lot of big sharks right away. Well, this looks pretty good to me. I can keep. Definitely going to start fetching. Get cards in the graveyard for Uro. Should we draw him or call for him? Opponent could have Spell Pierce up. I mean, not Spell Pierce, Spell Snare. But I'm going to play the Watcher here. Still going to keep cracking these things. Nice. We have an Ephemerate in hand. I think, hard to say if Force or Ice Fang are better, but I think we probably want the Force here. Don't have any blue cards in hand. Nobody knows how to remove this creature with the Hideaway on the stack. Like, I shouldn't be getting a free Force of Negation right now. So I guess we just pass and hold up call here. Opponent's obviously got mana up for something. And we're holding up Force as well. Goes without saying. Uro seems fine. So now we just like to draw some more blue cards, I think. There's a blue card. Start by casting Uro. So hang on, I think I probably just want to play this untapped first. Okay, we can already escape this, and we can cast a snake now if we feel like it, and I think I do feel like it. Opponent, I don't know, not really doing too much. Okay. All right, I played my 2 lands. I got 5 lands out on turn 4. I've got a snake to pitch to a force here. Excuse me. I think I'll let that resolve. It wants to have 7 cards, right? So they've got 4 currently, basically. So I think like Uro can wait, basically. We're just maybe I'll cast Eternal Witness. So if I cast Eternal Witness, well, yeah, I still don't have enough to cast to escape Uro this turn if they counter this. And I can't escape Uro and hold up force either. So I think I'll just cast the Witness. Maybe just get back Watcher for tomorrow. Although Eladamri's Call seems pretty good too, because then I can just go get I can go get the I think this is probably worth trying to do this. If they have another piece of removal, so be it. Looks like they do. It's 1 fewer piece of removal for other creatures, I guess. All right, so opponent's going to get lower on cards. I can still cast this. Well, now they're going to have 7 cards and transform this, which is kind of annoying. So they have exactly the right amount. But we just have to kind of hope that them being sort of low on resources is enough for us. So at this point, I don't really want to fight the search. So I think I'll just get like another Eternal Witness. Maybe even Thassa here would be sick if I could get that down. Eternal Witness seems fine. Just value. No, they put a Teferi on the bottom just to flip this thing. Nah. They're getting really low on cards, so let's fight a little bit, huh? They didn't counter that. So I think it's clear. I think oh, my own Ashiok. Yeah, I think I'll go for Ashiok if their shields are down. And then I don't know, Eternal Witness, just get a threat on the board and get back anything. Another Eternal Witness, I guess. Nice. Looks like we could use some more blue mana, maybe? Blue and white, pretty equal. All right, so let's just start milling out the opponent now too, right? Can't really see what's going on here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Okay, Supreme Verdict. That's pretty good. Well, Uro just gets to come back after the Supreme Verdict, so, well, soonish. All right, another search. Basically just gives them another scry. And I'll save this Ephemerate. Nice. 1-on-1 card. Can't escape Uro yet, so we'll just pass the turn. Hold up Force. Opponent's at 19, but we're trying to turn the corner. Find our way into Value Town. So I've got one Eternal Witness left in the deck, one in the graveyard. Oh, stop. Oh, why did I pass? That was a punt. I should have cracked the fetch and actually cast Uro. Terrible. Remand. Well, that's pretty rough, but I've got Force, so I can fight the remand necessary. So they have the remand in hand now. Let's counter this. They cast remand. I can just cast it again. Seems fine. Oh, they remanded their Teferi. Makes sense. I'm going to put them on not Bolt right now. All right. I think I have like all the lands out of my deck, basically. They have a Teferi in hand that we know about. Okay, well, we're going to have to draw through that Ether Vial at some point. Force is a nice one. Opponent knows that I have it, though. Man, can't stop drawing lands. So I literally think I have no more lands to fetch. So and I'll just play this extra. I think holding up Double Force seems good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll just hold up Double Force. And I'm going to keep the opponent off of searching by not bottoming Ashiok until I get Eternal Witness back somehow, either with a call. Okay, Verdict is going to make me have to recast. Well, I can also just well, whatever. Let's see how this goes. Now, maybe I do bottom Ashiok out now. Yeah, no more lands, but I do get the land into the graveyard for Uro. So yeah, let's get rid of this Supreme Verdict. Eternal Witness, Force, Coiling Oracle, this, and is it selecting? Eternal Witness, Force, I don't know, Ephemerate, I guess. Can't really be a land. We don't have any more lands. Oh my god, it's a fetch land. But it helps with Uro, I guess. And I can always vial in another Uro. I think you're just passing the turn here. a braid. They didn't want that one. I think, did I? So I don't have more blue mana. I think I'd felt with my... All right, well... Let the beatdowns begin. That's a good draw. That's also sort of a good draw. I'd like to draw a card, so whatever, just bounce that. There we go. Another good one. So, I mean, this is kind of how it goes against control a lot of the time. Just holding up, like, Ephemerate here. If they try to path Uro, another board wipe. Okay, it's another board wipe. I'm going to let that resolve. I can call for an Eternal Witness here. They're going to go for clearing my graveyard out, which is pretty good, I guess. Oh, well, that was poor. I could have called for... Well, no, I wouldn't be able to cast. Wait, what? Oh, I can't search. Oh, that's so funny. That's ridiculous. I just punted the game away. All right, maybe not necessarily. Maybe not necessarily, but that was really, really bad. Blah. So now I can't even use my calls. So, well, now I can. Never punished. It's Knight of Autumn here. I just want to beat down. And we've got Teferi protecting our creatures, so... I don't think I have to bounce this thing, right? Wait, does it? It lets me, right? Wait, hang on. Oh, wait, I can say up to 1. I'm going to say okay. Yeah. It's not often that I don't want to bounce anything with Thassa. Bounce, I mean blink. All right, so it's a 2-turn clock here, but the opponent's got 3 cards in hand. Lightning Helix. It's unfortunate. But I can bounce their token with Teferi, but then that bottoms Teferi out, so I might need to actually chill on that for a second. think I have to do this. And I have to win this game, too. Because I've taken way too much time. That's why we do that. Okay. So call can get deputy, which can get rid of the token. I've got, oh wait, stop. I can't attack here, so I'm just going to tick Teferi up. And then we're going to, actually, hang on a second. I think I might want to cast the Eternal Witness here. No, it's unnecessary. I'll just do it on the opponent's end step. Oh yeah, just tap it. That makes sense. Just tap it, of course. I forgot multiple times what cards do this game. Just tap it, exactly. So now we go get Eternal Witness. Flash in Eternal Witness, get back Ephemerate, and stop punting our game away. I didn't get Eladomri's call because I remembered, since you reminded me, that I can just tap the creature down. Yeah, well, I just didn't. I could have attacked last turn, but I forgot what my cards do, and I'm getting a little bit nervous about the time. Okay. And I'm still not tapping down the creature. This is ridiculous. I don't know what I'm doing. Guys, I'm sorry. Need to get my head straight. I think I can still pull this out, but I feel like I've never played Magic before right now. All right, time to start using the tapping ability. They've got a Cryptic Command, but I've got a Teferi. I let my Teferi take 3 last turn for no reason. Opponent is reporting me? I don't understand why they're reporting me. Have fun with the ban? I don't know what they're talking about. What am I doing wrong? I don't understand at all. don't have a lot of turns left here, actually. Oh, I said yes. Oh my god. Guys, falling apart. I'm gonna say no. Oh wait, what's going on here? I don't even know what I'm pressing anymore. Oh, this is stupid. Yeah, don't draw, exactly. Um, I don't know why I just passed the turn either. What is going on? I mean, this is maybe stupid. I don't actually know what's happening here. I should just pass the turn. It's being kind of dumb. Opponent's just getting extra damages, right? But they just need to draw 2 more cards, and I need to not die, right? Oh, they just saved me time with that that trigger. My opponent actually just said, enjoy the 10-minute break. And I told them, you're the one that's going to get reported. So, I mean, like, whatever. For stalling, good thing you only can play online instead of the Pro Tour. I don't know, man. Like, what is this guy talking about? Like, I punted like 17 times in this game, and somehow, like, somehow I'm winning, I guess. It was Ashiok, I guess, who milled like 20 cards. Well, no, it's not. I'm not. It's not really like they're cursing my family or something. He told me enjoy your 10-minute break, and that's got to be a short ban from Magic Online. Actually telling your opponent enjoy the 10-minute break. I mean, I responded, "You're the one that's getting reported." Opponent said, "For stalling, good thing you can only play online instead of the Pro Tour." And I said, "I report people for this nonsense all the time." And then I said, "Watsy can easily see that I'm just playing my game. I'm not stalling, right? It's just I'm slow and my deck has a million decisions to make. So I guess that's an excuse, right?" Yeah, no, that's absolutely what it is. That's what, I don't know if that's, maybe you guys didn't get it, but that's definitely what the opponent was talking about. So I mean, I'm streaming right now. He's not only messing with me, but he's messing with all you guys. I'll be sure that that Wizards hears about that. The problem is I've got so little time on my clock that if he does pass back, I'm like, I might miss it. So I just have to sit here, wait until things sort of resolve themselves, and then I'll definitely go and report them. I mean, seriously, like they would try to report me for stalling. I didn't even know the guy was going to deck. Like, I'm just super oblivious today. I noticed when they had like 2 cards left. And actually, it's kind of funny. Like, the reason that I said no about drawing on cards wasn't because I didn't want to deck before my opponent. Like, I'm just, like I said, I'm oblivious. Like, it's, I feel like, like a cartoon or something where stuff just randomly happens like the best way that it should, but not because I want it to actually happen that way. It was just because I didn't want to waste time clicking all like the Soulherder triggers. I was just like, no, don't do it. No, I mean, I absolutely could have. I for sure could have. Ashiok is a beast in these kinds of matchups, but it happens a lot to me. I don't want to say a lot, but it's happened like once or twice, which is a lot. It's more than it's enough. When an opponent has cast a little Teferi, it's on the stack, and I'm thinking like, okay, I have to do my thing now. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe I should counter the Teferi, or maybe I should vial something in. And then I'm like, okay, don't forget you want to call, okay, before the end of the turn. And then I let the opponent's Teferi resolve. And then I'm like, oh my god, I can't cast my call right now. Like I had every intention of casting it, but then then the Teferi resolved, and I couldn't cast it. So stuff like that happens to me all the time. Like, I just let the Ashiok resolve because I forgot that I needed to cast the call before Ashiok. I think I actually cast it after Ashiok, right? And yeah, I'm certain I did. And it just said, yeah, you can't search your library. And I felt like a dummy. So opponent is legitimately just running his clock down. Like, I guess they think that that's okay. Oh, they let it resolve. They're not. That's so funny. They're actually trying to win the game. Like, trying to like catch me sleeping or something. Like, I went away because he went away. All right, they're on 0 cards. So how's this going to go? So maybe like Archmage's Charm can make me draw 2 cards, but I can Veil in response to that. It's passing the turn. Opponent conceded. What a nice guy. Still reporting them. Still reporting them. Maybe they finally read my my chats and they were like, oh, he's probably right. I am being the jerk right here. So anyhow, I gotta remember, I'm not gonna do it now and waste your guys' time, but I will definitely remember to report my third round opponent. So that guy does not have any trophies. So anyhow, hopefully you guys found that entertaining. It was kind of a comedy of errors between my ridiculous opponent, who I wouldn't even necessarily say, it's not like normal salt, right? It's like upside down salt. Like he thought that I was trying to, or at least it seemed like he thought that I was trying to draw the game out or something. It's really weird. Like my strategy is to time myself out and just to annoy him and then win the game with 2 minutes left. Like I assure you, I'm not trying to win with like a minute 30 seconds on my clock just to annoy you. So anyhow, guys, give me 1 second. We'll jump into the fourth round. I mean, I top decked a good card, right? I top decked a card that answered the card that he had. So it's true, I did top deck, but what does that have to do with stalling? It's just me playing bad, right? It has. I mean, it's just me playing bad. You can't complain to Wizards that your opponent is playing too badly and you lost as a result of your opponent playing badly. That's sort of an explanation for what, but the opponent doesn't necessarily know that. Well, I guess they probably would know that I didn't have the Ashiok the Skyclave in hand. But anyhow, I don't know. I feel like that's just like I got away with one basically. Like I should have. The plan was to get Eternal Witness and then get Ashiok out of the Ashiok out of the graveyard and just mill the opponent out. I guess, right? I don't know. No, it was to get. The thing is, he was going to hit my graveyard with his Ashiok even after I search. So let's see. So call in response to Ashiok, get Eternal Witness. If they try to get my graveyard out, then I flash in Eternal Witness and get back Ashiok. Opponent starts off by saying good luck. I say thanks, you too, exclamation point, just to sort of wash that last game out of my memory forever. Okay, so we both keep 7. Okay, well, I mean, bobble decks we tend to be pretty good against. So if it's the black-red deck that we played in game 1, it should have an interesting match. Let's see if the opponent knows to kill this guy with the hideaway on the stack. But if it is a shadow deck, we don't really want to start beating them down. So here, I think we probably do want to take Eladamri's Call to go get like Skyclave and just start Skyclaving their stuff, particularly with Ephemerate. I can go get a Painless... okay. A Painless Canopy Vista here with the next fetch. Opponent has cycled a Barrenmore and drawn a card off Mishra's Bauble. So, okay, it's actually a Jund deck. If it's Jund Shadow, that tends to be pretty good for us. Actually, it's one of our best matchups. Renin 6 is obnoxious, but it gets the call in hand right away. If they blow up my dude, which they do. Little annoying, but this is just the start of the grind, right? Problem here, though, is that if they thought... Oh my god, I drew the Canopy Vista? That's a little bit weird. So actually, now that I know that it's a Jund deck, I probably just want to go get Uro and then just wreck them with Uro. I was going to say the problem here is that if they Inquisition me or something, I probably just have to call and then flash in like a snake or something, which is pretty bad, but that's what I'm working with. So no Inquisition one time, please. And they have their Barrenmore combo with Renin 6. All right, trying to draw cards. Next turn, so if, okay, nothing to do with their mana except cycle Barrenmore maybe, and removal. I mean, this could represent like a draw step, Kolaghan's Command or something, but I mean, I know I talked about getting Uro, but I kind of feel like Uro's probably still the correct call, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Skyclave, I guess. Let's just do it. We really want to start generating card advantage, and it's sort of okay if the opponent has this Barrenmore that they're going to keep cycling and cycling and cycling. But at the same time, they're going to blow up my stuff. Yeah, see, that's pretty telegraphed. So they've got to have a lot of removal, and SkyApp just getting rid of Renin 6 doesn't really get the job done. So I think Uro is probably the better call here. It's going to pitch the Temple Garden. Uro has a way of just taking over these games. And I've got 2, so even if they manage to like cling to dust him or something. Oh, look at that. That's kind of ridiculous. So now I don't really care if I play Uro right away. I kind of do just want to get rid of this Renin 6 now. I need to get a second blue so that I can escape Uro. So we'll get Hallowed Fountain, say yes, and just pop this guy. So Uro's coming. There's no rush. Can't really get discarded. He can get discarded and then clinged or clung, or trying to play a little faster maybe than I did in the last round. If they let me on tap, I get Ephemerate, which is nice. Okay, Luris, we can just path that guy, or just Ephemerate. They're looking at their top deck to figure out, I guess, if they want to crack this or not. Let's see. Stonehorn, I mean, I'm drawing good cards. Could Ephemerate this guy, but I think I'm going to upkeep Path the Lurus. I could also upkeep Ephemerate, but that's less reliable. So maybe they're going to try to push on the end step, which would obviously be awesome for us. Nice. Bring it. Or cling. Don't cling. Please don't cling. Oh, they're just cycling. Okay. So yeah, now I am going to path this guy. It leaves my Sky App vulnerable for the time being, but we do have Uro and we have 3 Eternal Witnesses in the deck. So this is a deck that main decks Lurus. I don't know how many copies they would have. But they do have 7 cards in hand. We are slightly ahead on board, but not by much. Just hoping to ride this Uro to victory here. Ugh, always with the Scavenging Ooze, right on time. It's like frustration. Another Wrenn and 6, okay. Return the Barrenmoor. Teferi's pretty good. I think I'll play that guy. Then they do get to just ping Teferi to death. So maybe the play here is Teferi plus. I kind of want to draw cards. I'm just going to Teferi minus. Having a hard time drawing lands. All right, so we're hoping to get some value out of this Ephemerate if the opponent... They're almost certainly going to ping Teferi with Wrenn and 6, but if they go for removal on Skyclave, I've got a lot of value, potentially with Ephemerate. They managed to deal with Uro, which is unfortunate. Okay. Step 1. I'm slightly ahead on time. Opponent's got 1 billion lands and 6 cards in hand, including a Scavenging Ooze. We do have 3 paths in the deck, and all 3 Eternal Witnesses are still around, although Eternal Witnesses obviously get worse now that Scavenging Ooze is on the board. So they're going to make me sacrifice this creature. I think I want to Ephemerate sort of in response to that. And I'll have to flash Coatl in on the upkeep. If they try to kill, or if they do kill my Skyclave in response to me Ephemerating. I mean, this game would be going like super well if I had like 1 more land. All right, so we're discarding a card. Interesting. I feel like just getting rid of Stonehorn for now is fine. I'm not going to tap out for it, and I kind of want to get these snakes on the battlefield. But then again, opponent gets to just start eating things, and I only have 1 Stonehorn. But whatever. I mean, we've got, as I said, we've got some removal in the deck. So I'm not going to pull the trigger with that mana up, I don't think. Start by playing Coatl. The Scavenging is going to start getting bigger, but I can't really blink before the opponent does here. This is a little poor because they can make me discard with Liliana and then I have to respond. Ugh, playing a little fast. Still, I'm slightly ahead on time, so even if I lose game one, hopefully I can pick things up in game two. All right, looks like they're going for it. Oh, they're just going to eat something, I'm sure. Okay. Untapping with 4 cards. So I have to respond now, which is really annoying because now they can just bolt whatever I try to ephemerate. Can take Liliana and he discards a card for a 2/2. I do get, I don't know. I mean, 4 cards in hand has to be some removal. Okay, Abrupt Decay, perfect. So no cards to discard and nothing in hand. Opponent got to. I'm so stupid. I should have just kept the Ether Vial in hand. I forgot about Liliana for a second. I'm doing that a lot this evening, just forgetting sequencing, important basic sequencing stuff. Okay, they cycled Barrenmore. Probably going to get it back to hand, I'd imagine, but they could just kill one of my snakes. Yeah, they got Barrenmore back. So even like Eternal Witness here is not great. It's usually like our best top deck, but they've got Scavenging Ooze sitting on the board, so best top decks are just like Sky Apps, I guess. Scavenging Ooze is a tough one. No. The best top deck is like a Path to Exile for sure. Just to get the Scavenging Ooze out of here, clear the way for like Eternal Witnesses. It's pretty terrible. I can at least thin the deck a tiny bit, I guess. Play my land, not discard it to Liliana. I've actually found that these mid-range decks that play Lurrus can be difficult. But I think the real problem here is just the Scavenging Ooze with the lack of removal on my side. I used my 1 Path to Exile on Lurrus, and I didn't get access to my graveyard before they got the Scavenging Ooze out, and now I'm whiffing on my removal. So this game's going to end pretty soon. I mean, opponent didn't really waste cards, right? Just the discard, right? But the discard is what it's going to be. They would discard anyway. Opponent has had this Barrenmore from the beginning of the game with red and 6. So they're sort of full steam ahead. I am 2 steps behind. This Liliana is going to ultimate soon. We have 1 more Sky App in the deck. They already ate 1 from the graveyard. Only top decks that really get me back into this are Path or Sky App to deal with this Scavenging Ooze, but then I have to draw really well to get rid of their Planeswalkers. So Soulherder is whatever. One's got 2 cards in hand, and they've just been drawing tons. So at this point, I think keeping Liliana in check is important because they're going to ult next turn. So let's attack Liliana. Get killed. Piece of removal, maybe. They really want that ult. Maybe there's a chance they don't have removal in hand. I'm 2 minutes ahead on the clock, so it's becoming a significant lead. But if this game doesn't take much longer, I doubt the match is going to end up going to time. And it's also kind of annoying if every single round just goes to time. Opponent not really knowing how to time their removal against Soulherder. Abrupt Decaying my Snake. I mean, they're so far ahead, it doesn't really matter here. And they can just ping the Soulherder. Opponent can eat 2 creatures from the graveyard, grow this to a 7/7, swing for swing for 10 here, right? So pretty close to just dying. Just spending the last few seconds on the clock, I guess. Ren and 6 can even ping me for the win if I crack my fetch land. We'll crack the fetch, though, just for kicks. Thin the deck a little bit. All right, I mean, the opponent took 10 minutes for the first game, so it's possible if I win game 2, take a timeout in game 3. So let's just play well in game 2. Maybe sideboard out 1 or 2 Ether Vials against Jund, but to be honest, I really like the Ether Vials, so I don't know. They did have Kolaghan's Command for our early Ether Vials, so maybe I do trim a couple of them to start. Veil's really good. Path is really good. All this stuff is great. I don't really love Ether Gust in the matchup. I don't really love Forces in the matchup. They just end up kind of being semi-dead in hand. I do kind of like Worship. They can have a really hard time dealing with it, and the opponent's taking a long time. Ashiok is excellent. Mind Sensor also goes over the top to hit their planeswalkers, so I kind of like Mind Sensor. Also, you know, can get them on their fetches a little bit. I hope some of you guys are still with me here. Some of the games in this league just really dragging on. So what do we take out here? The planeswalkers are all awesome. Uro is awesome. It's possible we want to trim like 1 Witness. They're going to bring in like extra graveyard hate, but I still like the effect that Uro just casting it once gives us. Trim 1 Witness. I don't really know that I really need to search for certain creatures, since Uro, you know, as we've seen, just gets answered by graveyard hate. So I think I could probably trim a couple of Eladamri's calls. Stonehorn is sort of fine, buys time. It's a big body. But maybe I take Stonehorn out because it's just easier to remove than Worship, and the body is sort of irrelevant in the matchup. All right, I'll try running like that. We saw Abrupt Decay, maybe 2 of them, I can't remember exactly, but Worship can't be hit by Abrupt Decay. This is a funny hand. I really like Auriok Champion, but it just dies to like Liliana sacrificing. So, and we can't cast any of our other spells, and we don't have one of our 2 Ether Vials. If I draw a blue land, I get to play Soulherder, which is nice. They also can like Thought Seize us on turn 1 and just take away the Auriok Champion, so I don't think this is a hand that I can keep. And, you know, it's going to be one of those games, I guess. Opponent's beginning with 7. We're going down to 5. All right, well, you know, this is like the first hand, only more keepable. So we're going to keep this now. We'll play green-white on the first turn. I have to keep Celestial Purge. I'll put one of the snakes to the bottom. You'll say done. Okay, opponent with the 7, starting off with the ideal. Turn 1, hand disruption. They took the purge. Okay. We just have to play Auriok out ahead of anything else here. I think it's sort of fine letting the opponent know that I drew that plains. Doesn't really matter. All right. Well, on a multi 5, you need to draw super well. So let's go little Oracle. That was okay. So now, even though I have the purge and the opponent knows about it, I still think I'm going to attack Ren just because it gets out of hand, and one point of damage isn't probably going to be the difference maker in this game. Thought seizing away the purge. Ugh. Just double hand removal, a double hand disruption against my mulligan to 5. I'm trying to hang on. Auriok champion, but opponent can ping my... They took Thassa. They have another Thoughtseize, or maybe another Ren and 6 in hand, I guess. They have a land, we know, because they got it back from the graveyard. Ren and 6 is so busted. So now path off the top, please. All right. Oh, okay. So I think I'm just going to double upkeep both of their things. Again, the 1 point of damage is not a big deal. I'd rather them not have access to a 4th land potentially, than get in the 1 point of damage. But now they're going to draw up to their 5th card. They can play Liliana, make me sacrifice my Auriok champion, and then I'm back to 0. So you just have to hope the opponent doesn't have like a Scavenging Ooze and we draw into Uro or something, and, well, not or something, but probably Uro. Did keep both of them in, right? Yeah. Plague Engineer. Okay. Naming human, so all right, well, there's the Uro. Okay, if the opponent doesn't have... I need to draw 2 more lands, green and blue. There's one of them. So I guess I don't crack this yet, and the opponent hopefully doesn't have a Scavenging Ooze. Oh my, I'm gonna start swearing right now. I'm just conceding the game, guys. Are any of you guys here with me still? Because just getting the bejesus kicked out of me by Jund right now. It feels bad, man. All right, so we are 2-2. I think I did have like 1-4-1 league. Maybe it was last week, recently. 1-4-1 league recently, but otherwise it's been a lot of 3-2s, some 2-3s. Just I don't know. This is a keepable. Although when I keep 2 land hands, I always just get wrecked. But it's a keepable hand for sure. It's got removal in case there's aggro. You know, it is slow with the 3-drops, but we get to get the double white for Skyclave. We've got Ephemerate. So all we got to do is draw a land or 2 here. Nice. Okay. Not a land, but something that can draw us lands. If this is prowess, I think this hand works quite well. If it's storm, we're not really super well positioned here. Well, the force helps things. Do need to get like a hallowed fountain here. And this could be like a control deck like we were facing earlier. So I do need to be quite conscientious of my clock. Okay, let it resolve. Pass the turn. I get to. Oh, I'm just gonna bolt it right now. That's fine. I'm not gonna pitch my Soulherder to counter that. Ether Vial is a decent one. 2 Ether Vials is decenter. Now they don't even know that they don't even know that I have 2. I just get to play it again. So it is kind of. It looks like. Well, I mean, kind of hard to say what it is. Lots of blue-red decks play Lightning Bolts and Remands. I did miss my land drop last turn, so. Oh my god, it's so weird. All right, so it looks like I'm playing slightly faster than this opponent. So just, I guess when you have no game actions to make, you know, you get to stay ahead on the clock. This guy's also just playing a little slowly. Also, they have kind of a stupid name. Better to be lucky than good. I always just hate that saying. I mean, this could just be some like crazy like through the breach combo deck. Could also just be regular old control. I mean, what are they thinking about? You don't force this, right? Silundi Vision. Can you guys please look up Silundi Vision? I guess I can see it here. Never mind. Oh, it's this land. Okay, never mind. I think I know this one. So they did force it. Wow. Okay. What a game this has been so far. All I've done is cast Ether Vials. The opponent has cast Infinite Remands. Let's go, Ether Vial. Get down there. It's a force. Hard control. Petty theft. What are you doing? Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, I can counter this if I want to. And I think I should, and I think I will. Oh, wait, hang on. It's my turn. Never mind. I don't even know how to play Magic anymore. So this is getting countered. This is going to get resolved. They're going to resolve. The opponent probably knows that I have a counter in my hand now, since I just tried to cast something. And And yeah, there's just things I can't cast here. So it's some kind of beatdown deck. So I think I need to. Well, I'm really going to like this Skyclave, I think. What do I get rid of here? Just, I guess, Soulherder is the weakest, just dies to bolts, but Thassa is a little bit more resilient. Also, potentially, sometime far in the future, she can tap down their creatures. So it's just like a blue-red tempo deck, basically. Blue-red tempo control, where they're trying to beat me down with Snapcasters and Brazen Borrowers. Hey, I drew a third land. That's cool. So I think I just keep playing out these Ether Vials, and now I can just, like, path something. They have one card in hand. It's just going to path this Brazen Borrower when they cast it. And let's see what the last card in their hand is. All right, so we are definitely winning, you know, the card advantage battle. But they're definitely playing a tempo game up front. They're just not pushing too much damage yet. You crack this, get a blue land. One card in hand. I'm not sure how much I really want to play around anything. And at this point, yeah, I'm just going to cast Uro. Hopefully draw into a land. Let's see if the opponent has, you know, any kind of counter. This works, like, pretty much directly against the plan that they're trying to play here. I could ephemerate this. We don't really need to. And these Ether Vials are just gonna be pretty good moving forward. Okay, thinning their deck. We get to a Sanctuary to put, what, Remand on top? Okay, fair enough. Going to remand my Uro. But I might not even go for it. So we know they have a remand in hand. Don't really feel like just letting them cast the remand right now. Okay, so they can remand this. Then we can Eternal Witness, get back like an Ice Fang and pitch that. Are they going to remand the, they're targeting the Force of Negation. Okay. So now Eternal Witness. We get back Ice Fang and just pitch it. Actually, maybe I vial in the Ice Fang to see what I draw, and then maybe it's sort of fine if... Now this gives a creature +2 in First Strike and Trample. So start pushing a bunch of damage. But I'm trying to counter the Planeswalker anyway, so... You grab the Ice Fang. I mean, making them fight over this is great because then I can just untap and cast Uro. And if they remand it again, then I can just pitch Thassa. Feel like it. Let's see. Can also just ephemerate Eternal Witness to get back Soulherder or something. And given the type of deck that they have, yeah, it's true. But then, yeah, I could have. It's true. But then I could have gotten forced back with Eternal Witness. I kind of feel like trying to Ghost Block here and make the opponent spend whatever they have. I have another Ephemerate in hand. I can't use it now, but if this gets countered by removal, it's sort of okay by me. I think they're leaving up a remand for this Uro. All right. So let's see. I think I am going up to 3 and 4 here. It's a nice one. So I think I just cast this right now. See if they remand it, I can just cast it again. I am slightly ahead on clock. I've got another Ephemerate to protect the snake. Going to put Thassa down. Go to the end step. This seems like it should be a pretty decent matchup. As long as I can sort of stay equalish on time. Nice. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Can even just Skyclave his Snapcaster now. And again, sort of force them to have removal to continue with their plan. Can also try to force their hand by ephemerating the Coatl, see what else they have. You know what? I think it's probably better just to get this Skyclave down. All right. Exiled forever. If they bolt after the trigger resolves, they'll get a 2/2 back. But I won't have to worry about it this turn. Okay. We've almost got enough to escape twice here. And if the opponent's working with removal, then we'll definitely have enough. All right, so it's time for another Coatl here. Okay, and I mean, we've got a bit of a clock now anyway, so Eldamri's Call is very strong. And I think I play into Snapcaster here. Brineborn. Okay. So now that's going to resolve. Then I can call for an Eternal Witness, get back Path right now. So an interesting deck that the opponent's playing is definitely kind of a tempo deck. Okay, so here's the Snapcaster. They can force this, which would be sort of okay. All right, so that's going to get exiled. But I can ephemerate the Skyclave and kill the Brineborn. And they are officially empty-handed now, so Uro is coming shortly. Okay, they can't block me in the air. I get to start. I can blink my snakes with Thassa. Thassa's actually going to be alive if this snake sticks and then Uro hits the battlefield. Okay, another call that the opponent knows about. And in this situation, it's just like, whatever, just another blocker is probably okay. Rather than just putting a land on the battlefield right away, if that's what I draw. So, it goes that way sometimes. All right, opponent draws one card. Pretty much has to be the best card in their deck here. Sort of happy to trade in this spot. One of the snakes for Snapcaster. Although Devotion is a thing, they do have bolts. I'd rather sort of protect my life total a little bit. Just putting them on not remand here. So I could call, get an Eternal Witness, and let the Ephemerate hit that. I think that sort of seems fine. I could play another land and then cast Uro anyway. Okay. So we'll just go to attacks. Opponent seems F6'd. Seem pretty F6'd. Okay, we got Uro and just about lethal on the battlefield. Pass the turn and blink. I mean, there's some good stuff there. I think we just blink Eternal Witness and get back Path at this point. Or even just Force. I think Force is probably fine. Okay. And since they don't seem to be holding up anything, I might as well just crack my land now rather than letting them respond to my crack. So we'll just get basic plains, pass the turn. Yeah, I did block with the snake. Unfortunately, it makes Thassa not alive. But now I can just tap down this dude. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Xaxes. And I've got Force up if they try to remove my creatures or tap them down with Cryptic. And that should do it. All right, so one game in the bag. Toward the end there, I had turns with a lot of triggers, like between Uro and Fetches and Aether Vials and Thassa, that they did get slightly ahead on clock, unfortunately. I am clicking way more than the opponent. I'm not playing slower than them. It just takes a lot of time to do what I'm doing. Oh, hey, Sespen. Welcome to the stream. It must be very early where you are. I'm 2-2, unfortunately. So what do we do against the control decks? Obviously, we bring in Veil. That was game one. This is like a just like a blue-red flash deck, basically. So they do have removal. They have bolts. So they have like the burn plan also. I think worship is going to be good in this matchup. Graveyard matters, so I'm going to get Ashiok in here. Also, alternative mill win condition. Mind Center can trade with a fairy. Force just seems good against the spells deck. Winds of Abandon, they do have a bunch of creatures. Path seems good. They do have a bunch of creatures. And I don't know. It's almost certainly a Blood Moon deck. So I'm bringing in Night. So I don't know if I need the fourth Force, honestly. Also don't know that I need Call necessarily in this matchup. It's like almost any of the creatures that we draw are going to be good. If you take out all four calls, that leaves us with 4 things. I think Stonehorn is like a reasonable go-to here to try to blank their attacks. Soulherder may be a little bit weak to bolts and abrades and such. I do like the Ether Vials. They helped us out a ton in that game. Teferi is going to be a house. I think I'll just keep 3 forces. Two cards out. All the snakes, all the 2-drops stay in. Sky Apps are awesome. Maybe just 2 forces are enough since they're not really hating my graveyard. Thassa was excellent. And Deputy dies to Bolt, so maybe I take Deputy out. I'm going to submit the deck, but then I have to run to the bathroom. So, submitting deck. And 1 second. Okay, I can keep this one. Opponent is starting with 7. We're gonna keep, and yeah, let's go. If I can get to a point where I'm holding up Veil with to protect Teferi. Oh, Worship is cool too. So let's start fetching, I guess. Always a consideration when you've got 2 Uros in the deck. Opponent looking to flash in like a Brineborn here. Probably should have gotten Canopy Vista there. I think I'll probably just go for Winds of Abandon and Veil, like whatever counter they try to spend. Oh, they didn't even play a creature. That's wild. I don't know, man. Like, I think this, like, it seems like it's kind of an aggressive tempo deck, but with Brineborns in it. So I can't afford to cast it to Teferi yet. They're not playing anything, so I don't have to play anything. Next turn, I can cast a Teferi and hold up Veil, which seems awesome. Right. But maybe I should have cast an Eternal Witness and gotten back a land here. Yeah, this is fine for the time being. If I bounce this back to their hand, though, with Teferi. Maybe it's going to be hard to protect Teferi. It is more aggressive than most controlling decks. I hope that that's to play Cryptic. That would be awesome. Okay, no, it's just to play something. What do they got? Is this a Blood Moon? Oh, am I going to get wrecked? Okay, it's Scions. It's going to make this thing get +2 and just start beating me down. Then I do get to try to remove this guy next turn. Okay. Yeah. They cast a blue spell, so I could cycle Veil, but I don't think that's the plan here. I think the plan is just to bounce the fairy. Although I don't know, like I guess worship is a plan here, right? Like so, their aggressive plan doesn't really matter. So maybe I take this opportunity just to get worship down. But I don't have any creatures out yet, and maybe that makes it too easy for them to deal with my creatures. So maybe yeah, Teferi with Veil seems fine. Would really love to draw land. I probably should have cast Witness last turn. Just trying to slow them down. Maybe I can draw land here. Okay, sweet. So now, get some creatures on the board. Start removing their creatures. Maybe they'll use their Petty Theft to bounce Teferi in the hopes of countering it on the recast, and then I'll catch them with the Veil of Summer. Opponent is approaching equalizing on time. They've been playing slower than I have this game. All right, so Teferi down. But Eternal Witness can buy that back, and I can Ephemerate to protect the Eternal Witness. Blood Moon is dirty. It's really dirty. I've been meaning to play around that, and I just didn't. So I might just need to scoop this one up pretty soon. Yeah. If we draw white mana and night really fast, force right now. Oh my god. I'm getting wrecked, guys. Yeah, that was a blowout. I think I'm just going to scoop this one and move on to the next one. I played like a dumbass. Like I even said that it was going to be a Blood Moon deck. I'm going to scoop this one. I want to have plenty of time for the next one. Although definitely keep the Blood Moons in since I'm scooping to it, which feels bad because I didn't really need to. Didn't really need to. But being on the draw there was awkward the whole way. I was trying to... I didn't have any 2-drops that match, or that game. Maybe Ether Gust is good. Yeah, Ether Gust is something that gets a Blood Moon off the table. Aven Mind Sensor is a little too cute, I think. Don't really need Aven Mind Sensor. All right, we'll submit. We'll get an awesome opening 7. Yeah, just losing to one card is always rough, but you know it exists. You know you should be careful. Ether Vials are sensational against Blood Moon, but didn't have Ether Vial that game. We do this game. Excellent. We do get to get a basic. It will have to be a basic island. Opponent's mulliganing to 6. We've also got Uro in this hand. We'll get basic island, and we've got Gust up to get a Blood Moon off the table, at least temporarily. Opponent could force my turn 1 Ether Vial, which would be pretty rough. They could also abrade my Ether Vial. And it's also awkward that I have a tap land on turn 2. I do need to get Ether Vial out ASAP. So we'll just hope to draw a green land naturally. If we draw a forest on turn 2, it would be insane. Because then, yeah, then we can play Canopy Vista untapped. Or any basic, honestly, right now would be beautiful. Teferi's a good card. Just need to see how this goes here. Petty Theft bouncing my Ether Vial would be obnoxious. Let's get there. Sweet, sweet. Okay, so now I think I have to just Violin Oracle, hopefully draw land. Hopefully, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Looks like they don't have red mana yet. Ephemerate is a pretty good one. We'll just pass the turn now. We get to take this up to 3. Sure. So the longer they go without playing red mana, the better it is for us. I think I would line up a block here and try to ghost block. They went bottom on that with opt. Almost certain. It looks like they're looking for lands. And I could just like trade with this Brineborn. But I also just like drawing cards to hit my lands. And if it is a land and they don't counter this, hopefully just come straight to the battlefield. Let's go. No lands, but things still looking okay. I can get a land with Eternal Witness. Maybe the opponent has like a Mystical Dispute up. Nice. And Mystical Dispute would be rough, but I think it's worth going for. You know what? Hang on a second. I think just vialing in Eternal Witness and continuing to hit my land drop seems best here. They seem to be F6'd. I'm going for Teferi here. If they have the Mystical Dispute, I don't know. We've got the Ephemerate right now to go get it. So sort of feel fine just drawing cards still, bouncing that Brineborn. And, you know, I'm not going to complain about lands. We've got a clean Ephemerate with Teferi on the board here. Blood Moon is sort of okay, but we're just going to, let's see, probably just hit Oracle here. Now, remember, I can always just gust and then use my mana on the opponent's turn if I feel like it. But I am going to, well, hang on a second. Probably just vial in Uro now, see what I draw. Opponent is pretty far behind. Maybe even get a second Ether Vial out. I think maybe on their end step I'll try to gust the Blood Moon, or not try, I actually do. Just to get lands, and then I can just like counter it the next time they play it. So if I crack this, I can gust, and then if I get a blue land here, I can snake. So we've also got force up if we need it. That's fine. They put 2 cards on the bottom. I'd rather not ephemerate now unless super necessary, just so I can start clocking the opponent. We know they have the Brineborn Cutthroat in hand, and they have to play anything out that they want to play out with Teferi on the board right now. All right, there it is. Beauty. So we'll go to their end step. We are going to Ether Gust the Blood Moon, with intentions of forcing it on the way back down. Opponent just conceded. Just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit weird. I mean, I've got a lot of damage to deal to them. They've got 5 cards in their hand. But, I'm not complaining. All the rounds have gone to time here, so it's nice to just have one that ends with like 10 minutes on the clock. All right, so for those of you a little later to the stream, it's pretty much the same deck that I've been running. I added a second Uro again, just like yesterday. So, yeah, that game was pretty locked up. Opponent missed their red mana for a little while. They let me resolve a Teferi. I had 2 Ether Vials. Just pretty good stuff. The deck is the same, except I went down 1 Teferi and up 1 Uro. They're both kind of busted cards that should probably get banned, but Uro just seems to more consistently generate like game-winning value, whereas Teferi is a little bit more niche. So yeah, that just explains the shift back to 2 Uros. Yeah, that was pretty easy. That was a good matchup. I still like the single Watcher. It just sort of ensures that I never flood out on like tapped creatures when the opponent's just trying to beat me down. But like in a situation where I have call and I'm just really trying to like dig towards like a path, maybe I've used all my Skyclaves, or maybe they have a very big creature, or a force, just basically trying to dig to anything, a Teferi, I don't know, like just playing out, like looking for a Watcher is good in some spots. Maybe I need to get like an Ephemerate, maybe they already exiled my Soulherder or something. The digging capability of Watcher, I've really appreciated when it's shown up, and nobody knows how to interact with this card. Like, if they have a removal spell, they just have to do it. They have to kill the creature when Hideaway is on the stack, and then I never get the card. But everybody lets it resolve. They let the Hideaway resolve, and then they kill it on my end step, and then I get the spell. So it's just like free value. So that's it. The most recent sideboard adjustment was going down 1 Ashiok to go up 1 Ceremonious. Fortunately, we didn't run into Tron in this league. And yeah, I mean, it seems like the most viewers that I've had all evening are with me like right now at the very end. Definitely not planning on jumping into another league right now. I'm pretty pooped. So yeah, nice league. What did I lose to? I do have to report one of my opponents. This guy was a super Saltmaster, Saltcaster. Let's see. I lost to Giovanni, and we lost to Bob Thy Llama. So what was Giovanni on? Oh, this was Jund. Like, it should have been a good matchup, but just like normal Jund with Lurrus in the main deck, and they just steamrolled me. So that was one of them, and Says I'll just show you the replay of the Salt. My yeah. It was just stupid. It was like, it made no sense. Actually, I can't really show you the sometimes it doesn't let you see the text on the replay, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not going to let me see it. So, I mean, you guys, it's basically game 2. You can see it. Oh, no, I didn't even show you guys in the stream. Sorry I didn't screenshot it, but basically what happened was you can see I won 2-0. I was significantly behind on time. It was a control matchup. It was Jeskai control. So it was just guy control. I was holding it down pretty well. I punted pretty hard. They cast an Ashiok. I had, I think I had Teferi down first of all, but I also had Eladamri's Call in hand, which wants me to search my library. Ashiok doesn't let me search my library. So once again, just like not knowing what cards do. Ashiok resolved, and then I cast my call. It was to get Eternal Witness in response to Ashiok, then exiling my graveyard, which had my own Ashiok in it, and I had previously milled the opponent 4 or 5 times. It's going to vial in Eternal Witness, get Ashiok back, cast Ashiok, and just mill the opponent out. Unfortunately, I just I totally punted, but I top decked a Skyclave Apparition the very next turn, which let me kill their Ashiok right away, so I didn't get milled any more times. And then I had 2 cards in my deck at the end of the game compared to the opponent's 0 cards. But what happened was, with they had I don't know, more than 10 minutes left, maybe 13 minutes left on the clock, and I had 3 or 2 minutes left on the clock. The opponent said that they're going to report me, and for playing slowly or purposely playing slowly. I don't know what their point was, because I was obviously just punting. I'm not some crazy shark that just I don't understand the dynamic of how I'm winning the game, but somehow I'm just trying to annoy my opponent or something by wasting their time. So then they said, enjoy your 10 minutes. Enjoy your 10-minute break, and they were just going to time themselves out. And at that point, I told them I was going to report them for timing themselves out. And then they did let it run 5 or 6 minutes, wasting all of our time. And then they came back, maybe trying to catch me unawares. Maybe I went to get a sandwich, and they were going to time me out, passing priority. But I was there watching, and they just decked themselves. So Hoodrat, where do I think Soulherder ranks in the meta this month? I think it ranks 97th or something. I think it's invisible in the metagame. I think it ranks about as strong as Soul Sisters, which is not hating on the deck. I mean, I think that I think Nassif a month or 2 ago top 8'd a challenge with Soul Sisters or something. So Soul Sisters is no joke, but Soulherder is also no joke, I guess, but it's not gonna beat it. Look, to be top tier, I know you're joking around, right? Just asking where it is in the meta, but in order to be a top tier deck, you need tons of people playing the deck, right? So even if Soulherder were on power level, one of the most powerful decks just in the format, unless hundreds of people started playing it, it wouldn't really rise in the metagame. It's just so difficult. We have weeks where the few of us who play the deck, one person will get a 5-0, one person will get 4th place in a challenge, and then all of a sudden, for a 2-week period, you have 3 or 4 Soulherder results, and that will actually make us appear tied with decks like Merfolk or Jund's Shadow, these lower tier 2 decks in the format. It is consistent. The deck is consistent. It's just that it tries to do a bit of everything, right? It doesn't. It's a kind of a reactive deck. So Tron is the opposite of a reactive deck, right? Tron just plays their land, and then they play Karn, and they don't care what you're doing. That's not we don't have a plan to just get to turn 4 and slam our bomb. We stop the opponent doing from what they're doing, and then we establish our plan after that. And we do that with a variety of tools, whether it's removal or counter spells or stopping their attacks. We have ways to access all of these different kinds of tools. Sometimes our resistance doesn't really come together fast enough, and we just get steamrolled. As to what could help us, we already have a free counter spell. So so you think that would help establish our early game, and it does. I think just like even better value 2-drops that other decks couldn't also, what's the word I'm looking for? Abuse. So a sweet ETB 1-drop would obviously be amazing, but every other deck would probably play it as well. So I'm talking about like a 2-drop in restricted colors, like green, white, white, blue, white. I don't know, like something that would limit the amount of decks that could play it. Like you don't want them to print like a green or green generic crazy value ETB that Jund can just pick up, right? All right, so here's an example. We got maybe like 2 blue, like blue, blue creature. Let's give it flash, just because flash is awesome. And it's in blue's color. And let's make it bad for control, bad for merfolk. So all right, let's make it blue-green. Let's keep it in blue-green, right? Because that makes it harder for all the random control decks to play. So blue-green, it's still going to have flash. It's probably aiming to replace Oracle, right? So let's make a blue-green flash creature. 1/1 is fine. I don't care. I don't care about the power and toughness. And I mean, maybe it's just a flash Oracle. Maybe that's going to be like sort of good enough. And then at that point, maybe we make room for more 2-drops. I feel like part of the reason we're not running as many 2-drops is because we don't have tapping a permanent isn't good enough. We need card advantage in the deck. I don't know, tapping something is definitely not good enough unless you're talking about a 1-drop. Like if it's a 1-drop flash ETB tap something, I could see that maybe, but what is it replacing, right? There's only 60 spots in the card in the deck, 60 cards in the deck. So something, I mean, I don't know, like getting a powerful 3-drop effect on a 2-drop would be excellent, right? It would push our it would push our clock up a turn. But they just printed Skyclave, and that's at 3 mana. So maybe it could be a more narrow removal effect, like But then, you know, if it's white again or something, like an exile effect, then like it's just going to be another toy for like Death and Taxes. So, I don't know. My imagination is sort of failing me right now. We love the kind of value like Uro is like a mega oracle basically. Coatl is like a flying death touch oracle that doesn't put lands directly onto the battlefield. So this is definitely something we want, but I think it's something we probably have enough of. I think we want more, like Death Touch is great, but maybe easier to get Death Touch. Like it's pretty difficult sometimes to turn on Death Touch, but I think Coatl is already pretty pushed. So maybe like just like Baleful Strix would be awesome, right? If the opponent goes wide, we just get Stonehorn. That's like the easiest thing to solve. Like go wide strategies are not really a big deal for us. Like last time I played against elves, it was kind of a joke. I just kind of obliterated them. You just path, you path their druid, their archdruid, or their Izuri. Sky app something. Eternal Witness back a path. Like you get like 3-4 extra turns against elves, and then all of a sudden they can't attack anymore. What other decks are going wide? So if black red prowess shadow gets down like 2 shadows, 2 scourges, and I don't know, like an angler if they even play that at this point. Those are situations where like if they're going big with like 6/6s on turn 3, those are games that can be hard to win unless we have our removal. So that is an example of something that's quite difficult for us to deal with. So that's a good question, actually. Like I could replace one of my lands with a Glasspool Mimic, and it's probably a pretty good idea. I just haven't gotten around to it here in the deck, so thanks for bringing it up. I do definitely have them because I play them in Merfolk. So bring one of those in. I don't love just trimming a basic island because I like having 2 basics of each. It helps against Blood Moon, obviously, those kinds of things. And it's also just things that we can get off of Path to Exile. which helps us maintain value against control decks. So maybe then I trim one of the non-green fetches, basically. So I have 9 fetches. Seems like it could be okay. With Glasspool being the 21st land. I'll try running that next time. No, I don't think I can cut the plains because Skyclave is super greedy on the white mana. And I can't say I've had a problem running 2 plains. I used to run 1 plains, but that was back when there was like very little white in the deck. Now I think it's significantly more with the double white. But I am on Vial as well, so maybe you could be right. Maybe you could be right. Maybe I'll trim. Maybe trimming a plains is probably better. Because a lot of the time, I'm just putting Skyclave in with Ether Vial, or just using white mana off of my duels. I mean, the mana base is like bulletproof. I think it's as good as it can get for the list that I'm running at this point. But Glasspool Mimic is an excellent card, and I've already been impressed with it in Merfolk. It's a 3-drop. We often want to have our Ether Vials on 3. So definitely seems reasonable trying out a single one. I've heard good things. If we're short on blue mana, actually, it turns Eladamri's Call into a fetch in a way, right? Because we can search for Eladamri's Call, get Glasspool. It's slow because you play it tapped next turn, but it is blue mana if we're like completely starved for blue mana somehow. Cespen, are you talking about Canopy Vista? I usually call them Tango lands. Is that a battle land? Battle for Zendikar? Because people have played these lands since, like, Nassif started off like at the very beginning playing these lands, and I'm pretty sure in his most recent iteration he has one of these, and I've loved it. I think it's amazing against decks that are aggressive decks. Basically, we can start with 2 basics and then just go fetch a dual land. So pretty incredible without hurting ourselves, except for the fetch. You know, being able to get access to green and white, whether we open green, white, and go get Canopy Vista to have Sky App, or we open green, blue for a snake, and then Canopy Vista to get access to Eternal Witness while also having white for removal. It's a really good land, I think, in the deck. And I've got the sort of duplicate with the Temple Garden. So if I don't have the basics on the battlefield to get Canopy Vista untapped, I still have access to Temple Garden. And yeah, it's just it's a card that makes you want to play a little bit smarter. Like you have to think about the matchup that you're in and whether, you know, top decking a Temple Garden is going to be rough because the life loss matters a lot, or whether, you know, you have time in the matchup to just get your basics and then go get Canopy Vista. As long as you know it's in the deck and you're sort of planning around it, I have just found it to be pretty excellent. So Hoodrat, I don't know. I guess what that question boils down to is less about meta and more about how the average skill of Magic Online players compares to the average skill of local players. And then, of course, if your local players know what you're playing and they feel like you're a threat, they can always just metagame against you. And, you know, they just bring in a lot of, like, Supreme Verdicts. And, I mean, we can play around Supreme Verdict, but, Torpor Orbs, those kinds of effects, Hushbringer. So there's that downside of the local meta where people can know what you're playing and then sort of metagame against you. But I think in general, the player skill is probably slightly lower at the FNM level than in Magic Online leagues. So I think you could probably do a little bit better in paper, just like if you're playing Friday Night Magic, and you're like, you know, a very talented, focused player with a deck like this, against any random sort of local metagame. But I don't know. I don't know that there's. I mean, if we're talking just about, there is no metagame for paper right now since there's no tournaments, right? And any metagame at any store is just going to be completely unpredictable or super predictable, depending on whether you play there every single week. If you play there every single week, then you know like Bob is going to be on Jund, and Susie is going to be on Neobrand or whatever. So you sideboard accordingly in those situations. So I'm not exactly sure if I'm answering the question that you're trying to ask. Let's see. What does Jackie Chen have to say? I mean, you also, if you are up a game, you win instead of just being timed out. That's true. Also, if you're up a game, you win instead of just being timed out. That's in paper. It's true. Honestly, like the amount of times that I actually lose from timing out online is extremely low. I feel like the opportunity to time out presents itself more often, significantly more often when I'm streaming because I'm talking to you guys while I'm playing, which obviously just inevitably takes extra seconds of processing. And since I have so many decisions on every single turn about, do I tick Ether Vial up? Do I activate Ether Vial? Do I cast Caller? Do I cast a Snake? You know, there's like, on any turn cycle in this deck, not that it's like super hard decisions, but there's just like 5 to 10 decisions to be made, along with clicks on Magic Online. So it's like you need to think fast, you need to click fast. So the opportunity to time out is real, but if I'm not talking like to you guys, I feel like I virtually never time out. But yeah, it is nice if you get up a game in paper and you're just playing at a reasonable pace. You're not going to get called for slow play. You're going to be ahead of game after 40 minutes, and then they're going to call time on the round, and you know your opponent's just going to be out of luck, basically. So actually, in that sense, I think this deck, now that I'm thinking about it, the deck is a little better in paper for that reason, because game ones are always going to go long. You're going to win. If you win game one, you'll just win the entire round. But if you lose, I guess the flip side is like you're never going to get to play a game 3. So I've never played it in a paper tournament yet, so it's kind of hard to say, I guess. I don't know. So can the deck allow having board wipes? I don't think we need board wipes because we control opponents either just like pinpoint with Path to Exile and sideboard cards, or we just stop their entire team with Stonehorn. Like if we're playing against Dredge and they get like 20 creatures out, the only way that I'm stopping Dredge is like with Stonehorn, maybe a well-timed Ashiok or a well-timed Force, and they don't have like a second Dredger or something. Like if you counter their what is it, Shriekhorn? I don't know what the name of that card is. Or you counter their Cathartic Reunion and they don't have anything to follow up with. I'm like woefully underprepared for Jund, but it's just a terrible matchup and you can't be ready for like everything. And I don't even think Terminus is that great unless you get super lucky top decking it against a deck like Dredge or any other super aggressive deck. So I don't think we're looking for board wipes, particularly since it like we go wide. So like, why are we looking to sort of destroy our own creatures? I think that's probably not the best plan. I have to say Mind Sensor hasn't been overwhelmingly awesome so far. I kind of feel like I'd rather just have a second Ashiok. The idea with Mind Sensor was that I could call for it on turn 2, flash it in against like a Titan deck. But Ashiok is just so much more useful against so many more decks that I feel like I want to just go back up on Ashioks. So anyhow, guys, I'm super tired. I need to eat something. For those of you again who joined me a little bit late this evening, I said earlier that I'm just going to be streaming Soulherder for the near future. It's not like I hate Merfolk or anything right now. It's just I'm not super inspired to play it. The metagame is pretty cutthroat right now, and without any new toys to push the power level of Merfolk right now. I just haven't really enjoyed playing against all these decks with Merfolk lately, and the appeal of Soulherder is just so open-ended. It's so flexible. We're constantly adding new cards like Skyclave, so it's just so much more appealing for me right now. I really wish that Merfolk would get some new cards that we could get inspired by and really want to start grinding with Merfolk. But for the time being, like, the deck for me right now is Soulherder. So Soulherder Mondays, Soulherder Thursdays for the near future. And so yeah, I mean, if you guys like Soulherder, keep tuning in, follow the channel, subscribe if you want to support me. And yeah, you're definitely welcome, Hood Rat. It's my pleasure. Yes, like True Name Nemesis, exactly. That would be sweet. I would definitely jam more Merfolk if we got True Name Nemesis. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. But hang on a second. I'm just going to check out who is streaming right now. All right, so I'm gonna send you guys over to Emma. I don't even know how to Skyward, I guess. Ward. Emma Sky, whatever. I've never seen her stream, but she streams at the same time that I do. So I often send you guys over, and you guys can say hello for me. Let's see, Emma Sky Ward. Okay, so if you guys feel like watching more Magic, you guys can check out Emma, and again, say hello for me, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye.